This is part 2 of our deep dive into games that pair beautifully with the Switch Lite. Last time we looked at big names and fan favorites, but this time we're diving into the weird, the wonderful, and the creepy. Some of these characters are misunderstood, others downright strange, but all of them shine on the light. See what I did there? Fair warning, a couple of these games are intense visually, so keep that in mind before you let the little ones play some of these titles. And with that, let's jump in. First up, we got Little Nightmares 1 and 2. These are eerie puzzle platformers that blend environmental storytelling with creepy visuals and subtle sound design. In Little Nightmares, you play as Six, a small girl trying to escape an underwater resort called the Maw, a disturbing place filled with grotesque guests who see her as a snack. As she hides, climbs, and sneaks her way through, you slowly unravel the twisted story. In Little Nightmares 2, you play as Mono, a boy who wakes up in a forest and eventually meets Six. Together, they face a creepy world corrupted by the signal tower, navigating traps, solving puzzles, and surviving against terrifying figures. These games explore dark themes like trauma, media overconsumption, and abandonment. If you're new to horror games, be warned. The imagery can be disturbing. But if you love creepy, symbolic storytelling, this one's a must. The Switch versions aren't visually perfect, but the gameplay and narrative absolutely carry them. Plus, the third installment is coming out in October, so definitely keep an eye out for that. This next one is another creepy one. Inside. This game feels like a spiritual cousin to Little Nightmares. You begin as a nameless boy being hunted through a forest. No dialogue, no exposition, just tense atmosphere and environmental storytelling. You'll sneak past guards, evade dogs, and solve creative puzzles, sometimes by controlling other bodies to complete tasks. What makes Inside unforgettable is the story that unravels. Haunting, mysterious, and shocking moments that I won't spoil, except for this one part, when you go into... But if you love dark indie games, this one is a classic. One heads up, there are no checkpoints, so once you start, you'll likely keep going without realizing how much time has passed. I played it recently to do research for this video, and I completely lost track of time. You have the ability to save and come back, so you don't have to keep going, but you'll want to. This game was a 10 out of 10 for me, so I had to put it on this list. All right, moving away from the dark and creepy, with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Shredder's Revenge. This game is pure retro joy. Shredder's Revenge is a modern take on the SNES era TMNT games like TIT, Turtles in Time. Wow, that was a lot of acronyms. From the pixel animation to the voice acting, everything feels like a perfect tribute to the 90s arcade games. The game kicks off with Bebop hijacking the Channel 6 news broadcast, claiming the Foot Clan is giving the Statue of Liberty a villainous makeover. And that's your cue to leap into side-scrolling action, solo or with friends. While Shredder's Revenge supports up to 6 players, yes, I said 6, it's still a blast playing solo. And that's what makes it great for the Switch Lite. The visuals are simple, yet vibrant, making it ideal for the small screen. This game is a fan service in all the right ways, with the characters, cameos, and the music straight from the 90s cartoon. This game is a little short, but packs quite a punch, and the available DLC really helps with replayability. Remember how I said some characters are downright strange? Next, we have Crash Bandicoot Nsane Trilogy. 3 games for the price of 1? Yes please. This remastered trilogy gives you the original Crash Bandicoot, Crash 2 Cortex Strikes Back, and Crash 3 Warped. All upgraded with modern visuals, voice acting, and the ability to manually save. Adding the manual save is honestly the smartest thing a company can do for a remaster or re-release. The gameplay blends 2D side-scrolling with the forward-facing platforming, packed with traps and baddies. Crash was originally created by Dr. Nero Cortex as a weapon, but after escaping, he fights back to save his fellow animals. It's colorful, weird, and full of charm. Originally released on the PS1, these games were a massive hit, with each selling over 6 million units. The third game even becoming the first US-developed title to sell over 1 million copies in Japan. The remastered visuals look great on the light screen, and the gameplay still feels challenging and rewarding. There was even a 4th game released in 2020 if you want to keep going. Alright, I'm gonna get some comments on this last one for sure. Diablo 3. I know what you're thinking. On the Switch? Really? Before we get into it, let's talk about the game for those that are unaware of it. It takes place in the dark, gothic fantasy world of Sanctuary, a realm caught in the eternal struggle between the high heavens and the burning hells. The game is set 20 years after the events of Diablo 2. The forces of evil, long thought to be vanquished, are once again stirring. The story kicks off in the town of New Tristram, where a mysterious falling star crashes into the cathedral, reviving the dead and signaling a new era of darkness. You play as a customizable Nephilim, a powerful descendant of angels and demons, who arrives to investigate this celestial event. It's an action-packed RPG dungeon crawler hack and slash that's been fine-tuned for console play. Alright, hear me out. This totally holds up on handheld. Sure, the frame rate is locked at 30 FPS, not 60 like on PC, or PlayStation, or Xbox, or really anything else. But it's solid, even when battles get crazy. The frames stay consistent, and because of that, load times are surprisingly quick. Textures look great on the small screen. The controls have been mapped to face buttons and triggers, making it easier to jump into action. And the portability makes it a dream, especially on the Lite's ability to put into sleep mode and resume instantly. Honestly, even my wife, who's not a gamer, was completely addicted to this game. I didn't see her for like 2 weeks. Honey!
Who's that?
What are you doing? I've been looking everywhere for you.
Don't look at me!
It's a good thing it was before our son was born. Also, for all the Zelda fans out there, the Switch version got an exclusive Ganondorf armor. So there's that. I really wanted to shine a light on the lesser known, underrated titles that really thrived on the Switch Lite. Honestly, Nintendo kind of just released the Lite and then just moved on. But I think it's one of the most convenient ways to play portably, especially if you loved handhelds like the Game Boy Advance growing up. Thank you everyone for watching, and let me know down in the comments if you thought this two-part format was useful, or if it was just overkill. You won't hurt my feelings, I promise. You guys may have noticed that this one's obviously a lot shorter than the last one. I think I got my script a little more dialed in. The last one I felt like I rambled a little bit and maybe went a couple circles, or explained a little too much. But next time they'll be a little tighter like this one, like how it was supposed to be. But if you liked the video, please give me a thumbs up, and as always, happy gaming everyone. Cheers. I feel like I should have a drink in my hand when I do that.